welcome to Tarot with Tanya. So 7 cards for 7 days, and we are beginning with Monday, August 20, let's see, what is that, the 8th? Yes. And going until the following Sunday, September 3rd, which happens to be the birthday of a very dear friend of mine, and I hope she's watching. I'm sending love, dear. Sending love. So we are beginning with the moon in Aquarius, and we will be ending with the moon in Taurus. 2 nice fixed signs to bookend this reading. So that gives us strength and stability, but also potentially a little bit of stubbornness, a little bit of fixation as well. So overall, as a kind of theme, we start off with a pretty strong, stable beginning to the week, and then it gets a little more airy, a little more fiery. We lose our groundedness and perhaps run into a bit of a challenge, but we'll get through that and I'll talk about it, and then we'll end with an oracle card. So thank you for being here. So glad for everyone who comes and checks this out. So grateful. So thank you. We start with the King of Pentacles, and this is from the Guardian of the Night deck. So it's all animals, and we have our king as a bovine king here, and this one sometimes is considered to be the slow one because it's that earth energy, so the pentacles. It can be very good on that Monday for getting something practical done, especially at a higher level of thinking, because it's the king, it's the most advanced of that earthy, organized kind of energy. And then when we roll into our Tuesday, we're still with those pentacles, so still with that very strong earth energy, and now we're at the 2. So there's a kind of pairing going on. And this one can be about balance, about harmonizing things. There's often this sort of, bring this a little closer, yin-yang sort of thing going on with this, a symbol of the Tao. So how can there be a balance that's found? And in an earthy way, in a physical way, with your material side of life. So that will be something that could be a strong energy to help you with those kinds of, tasks that you might have to do for that day. Then when we get to Wednesday, we start to switch, and now we're into the swords energy. So this is mental. We had a king before. Now we have a queen. So King of Pentacles, Queen of Swords. So she thinks a lot. She talks a lot. She writes a lot. She has good judgment, and as our snowy owl here is showing us, can lift things up, come from this higher perspective, can cut through the crap as well with this very powerful sword. So it can be verbally gifted. And I had mentioned last week, because we had a week that was dominated by people cards, or royal cards, court cards, and now this time we have 3 again. Nothing like the 5 of last time, but there could still be strong personalities around, or strong archetypes within yourself that want to be expressed as well. So on Wednesday, that mental energy. By Thursday, we're switching to the fire energy, the wands, and we have the 9 of Wands here. We have a porcupine and a fox. They seem to be in harmony in a way that you can, if you look in the background there, you can see those quills kind of, poking toward that fox. So there could be a sense of protection. Wands tend to be about energy, about instinct, and the 9s are peak numbers. Sometimes this is shown as a very beleaguered kind of person, maybe someone who almost looks like they've been to war, leaning on something, just barely able to stand up. But I've always preferred the energy of this card being interpreted more like a wise use of energy. When do you need to put that out there? When do you need to conserve it? So perhaps our porcupine with the quills is just sending out a little reminder that you don't want to mess with those quills, but that there are plenty in reserve. So hopefully that helps. Again, that's our Thursday energy. And by the time we get to Friday, we have a bit of a challenging card in some way. This one actually does it slightly different than many. Often you'll see 2 cups standing, 3 on the ground. Here the variation is we have the 2 cups standing, 1 broken, and then 2 on the ground, and then our winged creature, a kind of moth in the back, you know, and it has, I'll bring it in closer to see if you can see that there is a skull on the back of the moth. So there can be like some sort of minor emotional death because it is a minor card, so it's going to pass quickly. It could be that we're disappointed in one thing. Those are the 5 cups. But there's still the 2 cups standing. Can we practice gratitude? Can we refocus, which I think is so much about coming into our higher selves, our ascension on the planet's ascension. We're all coming into this. We're just at different timelines. But with this one, what can we still love? And maybe it's even about the self. It's emotional, it's intuitive, it's the water of the cups energy. So look for those 2 things that are still intact, even if there are some other disappointments that day, some things that didn't work out the way that you hoped they would. When we get to Saturday, we have the second 2. We have the 2 of Pentacles on Tuesday, and now Saturday, the 2 of Swords. This one is often associated with making a decision. And honestly, I just noticed for the first time on this, I love these cards because so many of them are like that. They have things that are hidden in there, and I'm not sure if you can see this, but there are like spirit hands, ghostly hands, holding those 2 swords for our frog to sit on here. So what's that about? We have a crescent moon, it's waxing, we have the frog bouncing on one, seeming pretty comfortable, but also I feel there's a contemplative look on the face. And I think that's one of the best ways to use the energy of that card. What are we contemplating? What are we trying to make a decision about? And that could be very much be what that card represents that day, making choices. And are we making the choices that have the most benevolent outcome for ourselves, certainly, and hopefully for, you know, as many people as possible. If it's benevolent for us and truly benevolent, that means it's the best for those around us as well. We finish the week, our Sunday, with the Knight of Swords. Sometimes this can be a very aggressive mental energy, rushing at us, an idea, something maybe we aren't comfortable with, something that seems too hasty, severs things, really flips things around for us. This one to me feels a little bit softer. For one, the sword is pointed down. We have our creature here. I don't know what fish this particularly is, but just even because it's in the water, it feels a little bit softer. And it almost seems like this particular fish has planted that sword, maybe is staking some territory, but it doesn't feel like it's out to get anybody or to sever things that should not be severed and so forth. But it could be a strong masculine energy, doesn't have to be a male person, but a masculine energy that comes in with fresh ideas, Hopefully ones that you like, that align with you. But if not, maybe keep an open mind about that. And if they don't, that's okay. It's airy, it's windy, it will pass on through. All right. So again, starting off pretty strong and stable in the week, and then perhaps by Thursday or so, that Nine of Wands energy, if there's a challenge, knowing when to act and when to reserve, even preserve the energy. Maybe a little disappointment on Friday, but look for the silver lining in that. And then using good judgment with a lot of mental energy coming up over the weekend, and just watching for people who might come into your life this week. The King of Earth, the Queen of Air, the Knight of Air. Who are they, or what are they in terms of your own thoughts? For our Oracle card, we're going back to the Winged Enchantment this week. And what came up for us was the turkey. She's got a pretty odd looking face there. Of course, they're blending bird and human in this deck of oracle cards. And let's see what this turkey message has to say. I am turkey, the giveaway bird. I am gratitude. I am nourishment. I am the sacrifice of the soul. I am martyrdom and the reason we hold fast to our beliefs. I am plenitude and harvest. I am the path of service and humility. I relinquish the ego. And, I'm just going to go back to our tarot cards for a moment. And that Knight of Swords could be a big ego moment. And we all have them. It's normal. We all have egos. But that might be a moment to sacrifice that ego, take the higher road there. So you are being asked to serve a purpose. You are being guided to put something else first. Without empathy, we do not evolve. I love that sentence. Without empathy, we do not evolve. And I think that is so contrary to what most of us, at least, the older folks, have been taught. Not in our personal, lives necessarily, but in the society that success matters, having a lot of money, all those kinds of things. And those are nice for sure, but we also have to have them with that empathy. So I am the life of charity. I am the bounty that can be shared with others. Look around to see who needs you. Your own needs may have to wait for a while. I am the spirit of living honorably. There is quiet dignity in service, and I think many of us do feel that. You are a vessel for greater good. You are compassion. You are giving of yourself. You are turkey. And the cards in the Winged Enchantment always end with a little sort of mantra like that. So, as always, I hope this really helps you. Take what resonates for you. Leave the rest behind. And as I speak about these, you may have other ideas, other intuitions, insights that pop in. Honor those. They're often the ones that are right for you. Please consider sharing, liking, subscribing. That definitely would help me a great deal, help the channel so I can do more. I also want to mention with the astrology, if you've made it this far, we have been already experiencing Mercury retrograde as of this past Wednesday. I felt like there was even surge of that sort of energy. I was having technical difficulties that weekend before, had a bunch of them, even trying to get the video uploaded last weekend, had more this week. So I hope it's better for you than it has been for me. Usually Mercury retrograde doesn't hit me so hard. And again, there was a kind of build up to it this time. But boy, it has definitely affected me. So I hope you're doing better with that than I am. And also the sun moved into Virgo. And we still have Venus retrograde. There's been in this past week on Sunday an opposition between the Sun and Saturn. There's still an ongoing square with the nodes. And let's see, Pluto, it's been a playful. So if you have found yourself a little irritable or a little struggling, a little down, know that, the planets are kind of dishing it out for us right now. The good news is, I think, is that it does make us more aware of what's going on with us, gets us to pay attention to our details and things like that. So again, hope that helps everybody, all you beloveds out there. Have the best week you can, and I hope to see you again next week.